Well, good evening, guys. Welcome to our Healing Heavy Hearts tonight. And, well, maybe. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you want a computer operator or something, please don't call me. So, it's nice to be home. Last few months I've been at the lodge cooking, and it's really nice to be here to where at the end of the day I can go snuggle my babies and my honey. It's really nice. We thank those who brave the weather to come out tonight, and those that are able to watch us at home tonight. Hey, Troy Babin, how you doing? You know, God gave me something a few weeks ago. I have a month to think about what, God's got on my heart. And the first thing he gave me was, well, we're all different. I mean, look in the mirror. How many people look in the mirror other than identical twins? And they say, hey, look, we're the same. Hey, Tina, this is tonight. I thought about you every time I read this message. If I read it a few times, it resonates, believe me. Here's somebody a little bit further down the road, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But, since we're all different, wouldn't that make you think that maybe we would respond differently to the same stimulus? Okay, not, as in tragedy, as in loss of life. So what does that mean? Well, that actually means there's not a whole lot anybody can tell you that is actually the way you need to do it. The way you need to do it, what's going to work for you, your spirit, your presence with God, and just the walk that you're on in life. And I'll venture to say that whatever brings you through it is what you do. So tonight, and I'm not going to waste much time because it's quite a bit to read, but we came across, if maybe y'all know, hey, Pastor Bobby, I wish you were here. You could put some fire into this message, my brother. Hey, you got some amens out here. But Stephen Curtis Chapman and his family lived through a tragedy. And it's a tragedy that happened in front of the family. One family member got into a car and, as they were leaving the driveway, backed over their little, I think 6-year-old daughter, 5-year-old daughter. And the rest is, as they say, history. But it's a history, hey, Deborah, miss you. It's a history that when I read her note, now how many people know that you would expect, Stephen Curtis Chapman, my God, man of God, has ministered to millions of people with his music. His wife is an amazing Christian. His family, is kind of family you would aspire to grow up to be like as a Christian. So, look at the lead-in. Hey, Don, listen to her lead-in statement. I hate May. Bingo. All right? And this is her preface as she opens it. Warning. Matthew's fired up. This is a warning. Pretty hard and honest blog. Wow. But here it is. And this is just, I'm going to read it. I don't think there's much spin I could put on it. All right, so here we go. I've been in major reflective mode these last couple of months. In this particular month, the month of May, let it be known that I hate it. I hate the month of May. I feel it coming all year long. As soon as one May ends, the journey to the next one begins. It's daunting. It's like going around the racetrack over and over and over again. As soon as I pass through May, I literally see the next one way out in the distance around a few curves, and the journey starts all over again. It's a new fresh track to travel on, but guess what? It's the same journey till the next May. Wow. Now this is 10 years down the road, y'all. The journey towards the month of May is when everything went terribly wrong. Or did it? Hey, Pat, we've been praying for you. I hope your health is coming back, brother. This is a question that my life journey asks every single day of every single minute. As around the last corner of the track and I head into May, the question with every year that passes brings some answers, but it also brings a lot more questions. I'm just being honest right here. Honest in a way that mamas who've lost a child are honest. All right? It sucks. I'm reading it straight out. I hate the word, but I'm here to tell you it's a very mild word to describe it. And so if I can sit here and share this little picture of their beautiful daughter. That is her. Look at that smile. I've been around the racetrack 10 times now. 10 times. 10 years closer to seeing our little Maria again. But 10 years without the slobber and the smell of maple syrup from the waffles eaten just about every day of her life. She also loved rock and roll and being taught the little pieces here and there of the 80s rock. Hence the video posted here. I miss the sound of her singing that song, I Love Rock and Roll. Hey, Miss Jam, with a scrunched up nose, she would just rock it out. Well, questions. There are still so many what if and why questions, but slowly these questions of what if and why have turned into I wonder what and also would she questions. I wonder with every school picture taken what she would look like. Would she be shorter or taller than Stevie Joy, one of our other children? Would she cheer? Would she play ball? Would she sing? Would she be serious, funny, easy, or difficult? All of it rattles around in my head. Stevie Joy and Maria were just 7 months apart in age. Every milestone that Stevie Joy travels through, I'm reminded, and she's reminded, we're all reminded of who isn't here. I'm reminded of what and who was taken away when the enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy that terribly bleak day in May. That stupid, ill-timed, life-altering day in May when everything changed. I hate May. I will never not hate May, no matter what part of the journey she's on. And I'm going to add one little preface here. This being the earthly world, we a lot of times can put stuff on Satan, but honestly, God has allowed Satan to do it. So it's still under God's jurisdiction. I'm not going any further than that. If you got questions, hopefully you know Jesus Christ. When you get to the pearly gates, you can ask him. I've been told all the list of questions we get to heaven, we won't even matter because we'll understand. So if you're really going through a lot, there's a movie out called The Shack. If you hadn't seen it, kind of explains the complexity of life as we can't comprehend it, but as God comprehends it. Amen. Hey, Brother LJ. Well, here we go. The Chapmans, 10 years later. Still live with the reality that someone isn't here. And it's in and on our minds with every breath we take. It is our reality. Just like it's the reality of anyone who lost someone that they love. It is a life-shattering, mood-shifting, mind-altering event that becomes the narrative of you. You are a new you. The new you is not the you that was there before the loss. We are literally in a battle of our lives every day, taking crazy thoughts captive and trying with all the strength we have to offer it to the only one who can lead the way around this racetrack that never ends. The only one, Jesus Christ, that can lead us around the racetrack that never ends. You see, we can't go to another track. This is our track. This is our life, and this is our reality. May is always going to be in our path. They're not going to come up with an 11-month year. And it's always either in our rearview mirror, or it's out in the distance, or it's right in front of us. It's in the horizon, coming straight at us. It's there, so what and how do we survive it? I'm not really sure, but here are some of the pat answers that I've been given. And she'll follow up with an explanation, but let me go through the answers. Well, the anchor of our hope is faith, of course. I mean, that's it. We know we will see her again. Well, we're always walking towards her, not away from her, because we're getting closer to our time than the other in heaven. Lean on your community. Hold tight to Jesus. Amen. Love the ones well that you still have here. We share a story of one of our friends who lost a child who had two more. But I got news for you. The two more lost their mom because she never, ever came out. Hey, Brother Chris Short. Wow, I would love to see you in real time. Good things have happened since. Well, you maybe. But guess what? The racetrack's still running. I'm guessing that those reading those words who have lost loved ones are struggling with something hard in their life, but not necessarily the loss. Grief, is still relative to your life and your journey without necessarily the lost life of a loved one. It is still so dang, and trust me, that's not the word she wants to use. She puts in parentheses, hard. Let me show you. Here's an example of some of the thoughts I battle. Well, the anchor of our faith is hope. Yippee. Sarcastically. Wow, okay, that's a good thing. Well, we know we're here again. Yeah, but great, I'm not with her now. We are walking towards her, not away from her. I have a hard time not looking back and seeing the her, all that little mess that she made, all the things that I identify, Tina, that you can identify, the little rocks, these things in life that we cannot erase from our memory. The story about the rocks, Tina, Xander would leave little rocks, and she found one in the gas cap of her car and different things, and it's a constant reminder that his spirit is still present with her. Lean on your community. Well, I got news for you. Here's her preference. We ran most of them off because we were just miserable humans to be around. A lot of the time, probably most of the time, because of the journey we are on. Listen to that. We ran most of our friends and community away because we are such miserable humans to be around a lot of the time because of the journey we are on. Hold tight to Jesus. Well, we're trying, but it's really hard to do when you just can't see or hear anything from him. So it seems. There are times that the Holy Spirit speaks through you, which is the power and presence of, God's deity inside of us. There are also times where he doesn't really speak to you, when you reach out. And I can't explain it. He's there as a comforter. He's there because he loves us. But there are times to where you just don't have this steady dialogue. And I don't think it's something that I can point a finger at, you can point a finger at, or any religious person that could say what it is. It's God's way of working with us. He never leaves us, and he never gives us more than we can handle with his presence inside of us. But I got news for you. Sometimes I really believe he gives us almost, you heard that? Almost all we can handle. Now back to Mary Beth. Love the ones you still have here. Yeah, well, we're trying, but we're all broken. And moms try so hard, but it's just so broken a lot of the time. We sometimes make it worse somehow. What about the people that don't have another child? What about, those that don't have their spouses gone? What about the situations that we just cannot understand physically, mentally, or spiritually why we're walking through it? Yes, we're born. Yes, we die. But God's ways are totally mysterious to us, and it's beyond our comprehension. So, these thoughts have at one moment or another entered my heart. Okay, good things has happened since. Great, that's really great. Good for you and still sad for us. Great things have happened, but it's still a very sad time. In reality, more times than I'd care to admit, still I try somehow to take these thoughts captive and keep walking in what I know to be true. Listen to this. Still I try somehow to take the thoughts captive and keep walking in what I know to be true. Okay, so here's where I'm supposed to turn the corner, wrap this all up in a big pretty bow. Okay, it's not that easy. I got a bunch of amens in this room. That's not as easy as it sounds. And of all the good that is singled up with so many hard days, I'm just being honest, so here goes. Good news. The Chapmans are still together, and we're still a family. By God's grace, the journey of losing Maria 10 years ago has, without a doubt, made us a family that knows what is important and knows that we are all here for each other and not against each other, and that we are absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, we have each other's back. We absolutely have so much to be grateful for. A brief update on their family, and she follows with family, children, marriages, grandchildren. You can go and, find this very simple if you want to read it all. But here's where she gets to the closing. And I think all of what I read prefaces what I'm getting ready to read that Mary Beth said. With all of the honesty and with all of the heart, I know that down in the core that Jesus abides and is with us. I can't sit here and tell you that I feel him every single second of every single day. I suppose it is definitely a two-way street. And that if you could ask Jesus, he would say that, well, Mary Beth, you've been a little distant too. And you've been a little hard to talk to as well. Well, maybe I've been screaming so many questions at him. Listen to this. Maybe I, Mary Beth, have been screaming so many questions at Jesus that I haven't taken time to listen. Maybe I've listened and there really is silence. That's pretty heavy. I know that many times in Scripture, the question probably which clenched fish was, how long, O Lord? I don't know the answer to that. Obviously, I'm on 10 years now, so it's 10 years less of the journey, and I feel like screaming to the Lord, how long? Yet, when you slow down on the racetrack, maybe even pull over and stop occasionally, maybe, just maybe, there's been some whispering all along. A small voice saying, just keep taking steps because I am making all things new. I would certainly like to hope so. And I certainly would like to surmise that while there may be silence, there is never a lack of persistence. Again, I type these words with faith, not seeing it or hearing it on given tough days, hoping in something that I cannot see. But I believe that Maria sees completely. Knowing it's true, my heart comes and goes. It is what is for me. And I'm being as honest as I can be. When I have moments of tasting and seeing what the Lord has done and it is good, then I get a brief, though clouded view of it. When I truly look at my children and they know they're all walking with a limp, but doing great, that limp being the loss of Maria, I see the impact that one little life has had on the work. And this is some ministries that they do. She'll show hope. A place called Maria's Big House of Hope. I get a glimpse of goodness in the land of the living, even though the view is dimly lit and clouded. I get a glimpse of it that the day is coming. I choose one more day to believe it, and I keep driving around the track. I still hate May, but I'm okay with it. Now listen at how she closes. Be encouraged, I hope. And guys, there is no truer thing than a mother's heart. So I hope today her message, by the impact that it had just reading it, you can understand where we go. You know, I've spent some time with a dear friend of mine that Pat Earls is down. Amazing family, amazing man of God. But his son, who was getting ready to really just achieve a status in the Air Force that was phenomenal, he's on his way home. There's a wreck at 11 o'clock in the morning. He's just parked waiting for the traffic jam to clear up. And this guy comes through the traffic weaving. We don't know why, distracted, was not under the influence of anything. But he hits Alex in the rear and kills him. And so they've had memorials. It's 2 years, not too long ago. And you know, Pat shared with me today that they had to make a conscious decision to make a difference. That Alex's life did not end there. His physical presence ended, but his life's work and ministry had just begun. Through them, by empowering them to look past their daily life. I hope that blessed you. Hey, Miss Irene, I'm done. I'm going to close with a prayer. And we're accessible if you need us. I mean, you look at me on Facebook, you can reach us there. And I got a Facebook page. All I can tell you is the journey is that. It is a journey. It doesn't get easier per se, but it gets more tolerable, more bearable. But as long as you focus on celebrating the joy of their life, and changing some directions to give honor and glory where they went. You know, your joy will come, your healing will come as you can minister to people going through your journey as they begin it. And there are times, honestly, I mean, you know the strength of a family like Stevens Curtis Chapman and what they've done and the millions of people they minister to. The bottom line is they're just a husband and a wife who lost a baby. So, love y'all. Father, bless the people. Bless those that's ministers to. Let anything that's not from you be stricken from their mind. But I pray right now that these aching hearts would just rely on you. They would just, you know what Mary Beth said? Maybe slow down a little bit on this track. You know, kind of listen a little more intensely. Take a deeper breath. You know, Colette likes to go to St. John's Prayer Garden. We don't really go to the church now. We go to church in Santa Law, but they have amazing prayer garden. She likes that little breath of fresh air. You know, I do NPDs, okay? No people days. I'll jump in a boat. They work pretty good. So whatever it takes for you to get your little space sometimes is what you need. But don't become a recluse, but be selective in your time around others. So God bless you. We love you. If there's anything special we can do, please let us know. Prayer line's always there, and I promise you, if you contact us and Colette puts it in her prayer journal, it is not something we say we do. It is something that is done. Amen. God bless you. We'll see you on the last Tuesday of next month. Bye-bye now.